Matthew 27. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned, and that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed, and went, and hanged himself.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakwadash. Much honor to you brothers that's in the spirit. And then peace to you sincere brothers out there, the true house of David. And basically, prophecy is not going to benefit you if you don't have any faith. So if you don't have any faith and you're teaching these prophecies, it's not going to benefit you a goddamn thing. And that's why we say a lot of guys are in that newscaster spirit, because a newscaster, his thing is telling you news, but he's only getting paid to do it. And you know, and after the news cuts off, he doesn't give a damn about what's going on. So that's what we have dealing with this truth. And then so going back to the story with Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot was condemned because after he gave the Lord up, he couldn't live with himself. And a lot of you guys teach like you're in a spirit to where you know that you're going to be condemned. You see? That's why there's no power behind the word. The majority of men teaching this truth, there's no power behind it. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Guys are just passing info. And you know the whole thing too, before I get into this lesson I wanted to do, I just wanted to say a couple things. The thing about it is the scriptures tell you that Esau's going to be destroyed. So you got these guys, they doing all this shit on what Esau's going to do and the vaccines and all this shit. Well, I guess guys don't even believe in the scriptures that they fucking be reading, because the Lord said that he's going to disappoint the devices of the crafty. And so that's why we don't really go into Esau like that. Not no more. I mean, we used to. But when we start learning that Yahweh Shai never really went into Esau like that, so why the fuck are we going into Esau like that? It's always a agenda behind everything. That's what you got to understand about this truth. It's an agenda to stop you from really looking at what's going on. And just like with these groups, all these groups out there, they're all set up to curve you from getting to where the spirit is. Because Esau, he knew that before the income, the true men of the Lord were going to be out there. So a lot of these groups now, they have been overly populated with scumbags, thieves, and robbers. Just like the Lord said in John 10, you know, all that became before the Lord was just thieves and robbers. So you got a bunch of guys that's a bunch of thieves and a bunch of goddamn robbers, and Judas Iscariot. You know, keep in mind, Judas Iscariot, he was condemned when he brought that money back. You know, he was condemned. He tried to throw it back. And the priest just looked at his ass like, hey, fuck you and your money. You're a fucking scumbag. And he went and what? He went and hanged himself. But going back to this other point about Esau. Now, when you understand, the scriptures tell you that as soon as this Edomite is about to fill his belly, the Lord is going to destroy this guy. So you have these prophecies of these things and these things. But one of the leading prophecies is the elect getting sealed. And that is our mission, to help the elect getting sealed. Now, by the way, men are teaching they're not going to help seal the elect do a goddamn thing. They're stopping the progress of the elect. And the Most High is sealing the elect. But are you doing the work of the Lord to help seal the elect? A lot of men are not. And that is the problem that's happening. These groups, they're not set up to help seal the elect. They set up to help seal men in their mind, sever their, to sear, as the scriptures say, men conscience is seared with a hot iron. So a lot of guys are set up to cause confusion. While the true men of the Lord, you're going to have to find them, because the scriptures say that the elect won't be fooled, and the sheep is going to hear the Lord's voice, which the Lord's voice is not dealing with everybody. The true things of the Lord, they're hidden. So you got to work for this salvation. Salvation is you're not just going to walk up on a group of 30 men and think you're going to have salvation and the Lord is dealing with those men. The Spirit of the Lord is went hidden. It's not just with groups of guys. It's not like that. Especially in this time, you don't want to be around a lot of fucking guys, man. You don't want to be around 30 guys, 20 guys doing unity camps. You got spies, false brethren, and guys that's teaching this truth now. All they care about is fame and making money and putting their face out there. So they're not actually helping seal the elect. They're keeping us here. You see, they got us here like on a fucking hamster wheel, like the churches. And if it was left up to these guys, they'll continue to teach in a deceitful way, so they can stay here and we can stay here, and they can continue to make their money. But the Lord is closing this thing up, you see, and that's our mission, to help close this thing up so we get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be teaching the truth for no fucking 30 years or no 20 years. You see, you should look at this truth like the angels. When they went in there and got Lot out of there, they went in there, they did what they had to do, they got the fuck out of there. That's what this truth for. It wasn't for you to become great and make a name for yourself and start making money. It was never about that. That's why a lot of you guys are condemned like Judas Iscariot when I go back to that chapter. But you got to understand that guys talking about all these prophecies, well, these prophecies is not going to fucking benefit you if you don't have any faith. You see? Yeah, these prophecies, they're not going to benefit your ass if you don't have no faith. And we don't care about the vaccines. We don't care about what Esau's doing, what the world is doing. We're not a part of this world. We don't care what's happening in this world, because the scriptures say all things will work out for the Lord's chosen. So when you understand that, you understand if when you're in agreement with Yahweh Shai, and when you're under the covenant with the Lord and you're with the Lord, you understand that everything is going to work out for the elect. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. I think it's Romans 11. Right, so that's what you got to understand. This truth, on another note, it became a snare for a lot of our people. It became a snare and a trap because a lot of guys, they're not of the Lord. So because they're not of the Lord, they're teaching in a way that's going to condemn their ass, and it's just been a trap for their ass. The Lord have got you. Let me read this. Romans 11:9. It says, and David says, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened that they may not see, and bow down their back always. So a lot of guys, they've been caught up in the snare because what these groups and these camps, they became a trap and a snare to trap you in there, and you're not in there with the Holy Spirit. You're in there with a bunch of goddamn thieves and a bunch of robbers. So now, what you have to understand, you have to find where the Spirit is. You have to find where the Spirit is. And where the Spirit is, that's not where everybody is. What that scripture says, all things work work out for the elect's sake. All things work out for those that's in the Lord. And that's what you got to believe. Shit, I can't find that scripture. All things work together for them that believe. So you got to understand, this truth has been like oversaturated with a bunch of goddamn niggas, and they're not teaching the word with faith. They're teaching it in a carnal way. So when somebody's in the flesh, they're constantly worried about the flesh, or they're constantly speaking of shit in the flesh, instead of speaking of things of Yahweh Shai, and coming from a place where they're assured. Guys are in a mode to where they are unsure, and they're worried about what's going to happen in these times. You see? Yeah, here it is right here. So you got to understand, the wickedness have increased in these days, and just like I think in the book of Samuel, it tell you that the word was precious. So the word is not out there with every group and camp and guys and these groups that's exalted. Now they have a portion of the word, but they deny the true power. So you got guys that don't have the spirit, but they have some information for you, which guys are teaching in a deceitful spirit because they're partially teaching the Lord's word. So by guys doing that, they're not in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, which the Lord's whole thing was to bring to you faith and belief, and not to have you in the fear of these things out here. That's why the Lord said, don't fear what man can do to you. But if you pay attention to how guys teach, they're constantly worried about Esau. They're worried about the shit that's happening in this world. And one thing you need to worry about is Yahweh Shai and how he moved. And you need to worry about staying in the spirit. Because a lot of guys, they're not teaching this word in the spirit. So therefore, when guys don't teach in the spirit, they're of the world. And they're giving you a scared, demonic view of like what's coming and what they think it is, instead of having faith. So therefore, if you don't have any faith, prophecies don't mean a goddamn thing. So this is what I wanted to bring out. This is Romans 8:28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High. It says, to them who are called according to his purpose. So you got to understand that all things are going to work if you're chosen and you're in that full agreement with the Lord. So you don't have anything to worry about. So going back to Esau, guys love to talk about this guy and what he's doing with the vaccines and this, and you ain't going to be able to work. Well, a lot of you niggas, you're not even working anyway. You're just sitting back. You don't even have jobs anymore. Guys is getting all that fucking tithe money. This is Job chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And a lot of you guys are wicked too, so your devices are going to be disappointed. You see, your schemes and all this shit's going to be, everything's going to come to a knot. You know, guys talk about Esau, but the Lord tells you that he's going to disappoint that shit. And the scripture tell you, as soon as he's about to fill his belly, the Lord is going to rain down snares on his ass. So guys that worried about Esau, they don't understand the scriptures, and a lot of guys are not in the spirit of faith. So that's what you got to understand. So going back to Matthew chapter 27, which is going back to the main point of this video. But you just got to understand, everything's going to work together for the Lord's true chosen and those that's of the Lord. So you don't have anything to worry about. The majority of guys that's teaching this word, they're not even in the spirit. So they're teaching the word in a state where they are scared of what's going to happen because the Lord is not with them. The Lord makes himself manifest unto you, man. The Lord makes himself manifest. And you have to understand that our forefathers and the true men of the Lord, they knew that the Lord was with them while they did their works and the things that they had to do. So going back to Matthew 27:1, I want to get this point out. Matthew 27:1, and when the morning was come, and all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death. So the chief priests, guys like to call themselves chief priests and elders, right? The elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death, so they were against the Lord. The Lord, he didn't get double honors. He wasn't praised. You know, he was hated by the chief priests and the elders. The Lord was 30. He died when he was 33. You see, he started his 3-year run. He accomplished so much in little time. That's why we know that a lot of you guys are not men of the Lord, because this work isn't for you to become great and to sit back and make yourself comfortable and make a name for yourself here. This word is for you to go in and to teach the word with the strength and the power, because a lot of you guys, you're teaching the word, but you're not teaching it in power. You guys are just teaching this thing like it's a Boy Scout club. And that's what you guys have turned it into. You've turned this truth into something of the fucking world, because you guys are the fucking world. You got elders going out and got to close camp down because they bringing axes out there, because you have carnal guys. These guys are carnal, man. They're not in the spirit of the Lord. And now we're at the time where the Lord is actually condemning these guys now. And a lot of you guys, you can't get it because you're not in the spirit. You're not with the spirit. The majority of you guys in the truth, you're against the spirit. Just like the priests and the elders, they were against Yahushua. A lot of you guys are against the true spirit of the Lord. Now, Matthew 27:2, and when they had bound him and led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor, check Judas out. Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. So a lot of you guys have betrayed the Lord for money. You see that? And a lot of you guys have taken that money. You've taken that bribe. You've taken that bag. And we know a lot of guys have sold out, and we know a lot of guys are just benefiting off of camps. Either or, the way it go, you're teaching this word for the bag, so it don't fucking matter. Because if you a true man of the Lord, you would never have to run no scheme to take guys' money. But Judas Iscariot, which had betrayed him, because a lot of you guys are a bunch of goddamn betrayers. And that's what Matthew 24 said. It said, in that days, men shall not love one another. They're going to hate one another. Men shall betray one another. Right, so men are betraying the Lord just for money and clout. It's not even about the Lord. So that's why you have a bunch of goddamn thieves and robbers in this truth. You see? Now I want to go to that word betray real quick. It's 2 words I want to get, and then I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to bring that out, because the Lord said everything's going to work together for the elect. So, you see these guys, they're worried because they're not in the spirit. So I advise guys not to watch these mainstream guys. They get a lot of views and shit like that. And and it seems like guys are not even working no fucking more. Now that word betray.
Strong's G 3860. Paradidomi.
It says to give into the hands of another, to give over into one's power or use, to deliver one something, to keep, use, take care of, manage, to deliver up to custody, to judge, to be judged, condemned, punished, scourged, tormented to death, to deliver up treacherously, but by betrayal, to cause one to be taken. It says to commit, to commend, to deliver verbally, commands, rights, to deliver by narrated report, to grant, to allow. So the Lord was betrayed because he was given up by one of his own men for 30 shekels of silver. You see? And that's what guys are doing now. They will do something strange for a little piece of change, basically. You know, but what's happening is you have guys, they're not in the Lord's spirit. So they'll tell you we're not in the covenant because they're making money off this. And they want you to believe that we're not in agreement with Yahweh Shai. Which a lot of these guys, they've already taken that bag. But check out what happened. How did Judas feel after he got that bag? Matthew 27:4. And this is prophecy too. The false prophets is prophecy. Revelations, things being revealed. The Lord cussing you guys out with his mouth. Guys say that we're talking shit. Well, the thing is, you call the spirit of the Lord shit. And guys say, shut the fuck up. See, the spirit is against a lot of you guys, man. And you don't see it because you become corrupt in these last days. And so what the Lord have done, he sent his true men back to cuss you guys out. And that's exactly what's happening. So this is the spirit of Judas Iscariot after he betrayed the Lord and really figured out what he was doing. Now verse 4, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood, and that let me go back to 3. Matthew 27:3. Then Judas betrayed him, who he saw he was condemned and repented himself. Right. So a lot of guys, they're condemned. Now let me get that word condemned real quick. So guys are teaching in a betrayal state, and they're teaching in a condemned state because they're not doing it for Yahweh Shai, they're doing it for money. You see what I'm saying? So guys are teaching in a state where they're in a betrayal state. They've gave the Lord up for money. You see, they've actually gave up the spirit in the Lord in the agreement with the Lord for money. And guys are teaching in a condemned state. Now that word condemned real quick.
Strong's G 2632. Katakrino.
Right, so that word condemn, to give judgment against, to judge worthy of punishment, to condemn. By one's good example to renders another wickedness, the more evident and sensible, condemn, damn. So guys are teaching in a condemned state. You see? Because guys know, like, when the Lord taught this word, he didn't teach the word and tell you to get money. You see what I'm saying? He didn't tell you to get tithes or take a bag. He didn't ever tell you that. So a lot of guys, they're teaching this word in a condemned state. And this is what a lot of guys are going to say, Matthew 27:4, saying, I have sinned and I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. Right, they didn't give a fuck. Hey, they had Yahweh Shai. And these Edomites, they don't give a fuck. Are you betraying the Lord? You see? They don't give a fuck about you. And these camps and these men making money, they don't care about guys. It's all about money, man. Now verse 5, and he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. Now check out this money that guys have. Check out what the chief priest said on that money that he threw to them. Now verse 6, and the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. So a lot of guys have the blood of Yahweh Shai on their hands because they're teaching this word without Yahweh Shai's spirit, and they've taken money to not really teach this thing like how you're supposed to do it. So guys have taken the money and they betrayed Yahweh Shai. So now guys are condemned. And a lot of guys have the blood of the prophets on their hand. They said, and they took counsel and brought with them to the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. So guys have betrayed the Lord, and a lot of guys are teaching in a condemned mind state. That's why guys are not even in the spirit teaching. That's why they want you to go on the breakdowns. They don't want you to teach about Yahweh Shai, because a lot of guys have betrayed Yahweh Shai and they're teaching in a condemned state. So prophecies don't mean a goddamn thing if you're not teaching in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, if you don't have faith. You see, it don't mean a goddamn thing. Many men are condemned. But, you know, the Lord teaches you how to see the false prophets and where the evil is. You see? But with that, man, I just wanted to bring that out. You got to understand that if you're not in the spirit of the Lord, all the prophecies that you're bringing out and the breakdowns you bring out, that shit don't mean a goddamn thing. You see, it's only going to benefit those ones that's actually in the spirit. Matter of fact, let me read this, man. Let me read this. Because a lot of you guys, you're teaching his word and you got all these breakdowns, but if you're not in the spirit of the Lord, this is not going to profit you guys. Not a goddamn thing. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and 22. Wherefore tongues are for a sign, not to them that believe, but to them that believe not. But prophesying serveth not for them that believeth not, but for them which believe. And if you believe, you wouldn't have to take the bag or make money off of this truth. You would have faith in the Lord. But with that, man, death to all you wicked motherfuckers. The prophecy is not going to profit you unless you're the chosen of the Lord. And with that, hey, shalom.